Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, and today I want to talk about something deceptively simple but absolutely life-changing for men over 60, vitamins. Now, when you cross 60, the rules change. Your metabolism changes, your absorption changes, and even your mitochondria, the very batteries that keep your body running, lose their charge. And yet, every pharmacy aisle and late-night commercial wants you to believe the same old story. More pills equal more health. That's marketing, that's not medicine. Let me start with the bad news because men like us prefer the truth up front. The bad news is this: more is not better. We live in a culture that worships excess. If one is good, five must be great. That logic might apply to books on your shelf or hugs from your grandchildren, but it does not apply to your biochemistry. Your body is not a bottomless trash can. It is a finely tuned machine, and machines demand balance. Too little oil and an engine seizes, too much oil and it chokes and burns. Vitamins work the same way. Nowhere is this misunderstanding more dangerous than in men over 60. Why? Because physiology shifts, digestion slows, enzymes don't fire the way they once did. Testosterone drops sometimes by half. And when testosterone falls, so does muscle strength, sexual vitality, and that deep, restoring sleep that once came easily. Your resilience fades, and when you flood your system with mega doses of vitamins, you're not fortifying it, you're stressing it. Take vitamin E. For decades, it was plastered across headlines, protects your heart, prevents cancer, keeps you youthful. Millions of Americans swallowed 400 IU a day without hesitation. But when the gold standard clinical trials came out, the results were damning. High-dose vitamin E didn't prevent heart disease, it didn't lower cancer risk. In fact, it raised the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding in the brain. Why? Because at high doses, vitamin E flips roles. Instead of quenching free radicals, it generates them. An antioxidant becomes a pro-oxidant. The dose makes the poison. Vitamin A is no better. Yes, you need it for vision, immunity, and skin. But once you've met your daily need, every extra pill spills over into your bones and liver. Seniors who load up on vitamin A actually suffer weaker bones, higher fracture risk, and outright liver toxicity. And if you're a man already fighting fragile sleep and low testosterone, the last thing you need is brittle bones and liver strain added to the mix. And then there's iron. We grew up with the Popeye myth, iron equals strength, but past 60 the script flips. Iron in excess fuels oxidative stress, the very process that accelerates aging, damages blood vessels, and weakens erections. You heard me right, overload on iron. And you're not gaining strength, you're sabotaging your circulation, your sleep, and your sexual stamina. For men, especially after menopause in women, iron stops leaving the body. It builds up, and when it builds, it burns. Finally, the great American obsession, the multivitamin, 30 ingredients in one shiny capsule. Sounds efficient, but biology doesn't work like that. Your body doesn't want 30 extras dumped in all at once. It wants precision. It wants the right nutrient at the right dose for the right reason. Multivitamins give you the illusion of control, but in truth they are roulette, sometimes harmless, often stressful, occasionally dangerous. Here's the deeper truth. Supplements play on our psychology. They make us feel like we're taking control, like we're fighting back against aging. And listen, I respect that. Control matters. But control without knowledge is illusion. True control is knowing what your body actually needs, not what an advertisement says it does. That brings me to the principle I live by with my patients: homeostasis, balance. Every system in your body fights for it: your blood sugar, your hormones, your sleep cycles, even your testosterone. When you eat food your body regulates, it takes what it needs, discards the rest. But when you swallow a pill, especially in high doses, you bypass those safeguards. You flood the system. And in the aging male body, where the safety nets are thinner and the balance tips faster, the risks are magnified. I often hear this: "Doctor, if I'm deficient, shouldn't I take more to make up for it?" That sounds logical, but it's incomplete. Yes, correct the deficiency. But once the tank is full, stop pumping. Overshooting doesn't make you stronger, it makes you toxic. That's the message no supplement company wants you to hear. But it's the message you need to hear if you want to protect not only your lifespan, but your health span, your years of living strong, sleeping deeply, and performing like a man. So here's the takeaway. Precision beats excess. Your body is not begging for a flood of synthetic nutrients. It's asking for balance, for targeted support, for respect. That's how you support testosterone naturally. That's how you protect sleep and sexual vitality. And that's how you age like a man with strength, with clarity, with dignity. Now, before I move on, let me speak directly to you. If you find value in what I'm saying, if you want more conversations that are raw, honest, and tailored for men like us over 60, then do me one favor, hit that like button. When you tap it, you're not just supporting me, you're sending a message to YouTube that this is content worth sharing with other men who need it. And let me bless you with this. May every man who presses like tonight sleep deeper than he has in months. May your testosterone rise naturally with every sunrise that follows. And may you stand taller, stronger, and prouder in the days ahead, knowing you're not alone in this fight. So, subscribe, comment below, and share your questions. I read them all, and I'll be answering some in the next episode. Remember, gentlemen, more is not better, better is better. Gentlemen, let's peel back the curtain on something most men never think about until it's too late: absorption. You can eat the right foods, buy the best supplements, even load up your medicine cabinet like a small pharmacy. But if your body can't absorb and use what you swallow, it's all wasted. This is where age hits hard. After 60, the machinery that breaks down and absorbs nutrients simply doesn't work like it did at 30. And this is not just about vitamins on a chart. It's about the energy you wake up with, the clarity of your mind, the strength in your grip, the fullness of your erections, and the depth of your sleep. Let's start with the stomach. In your younger years, the stomach was a furnace of acid, breaking proteins apart, releasing minerals, liberating vitamin B12 from food. Past 60, acid production plummets. Millions of older men develop hypochlorhydria, low stomach acid. Add in antacids or proton pump inhibitors, medications many of you take for reflux, and your ability to absorb B12, magnesium, calcium, and iron nosedives. And here's the catch: low B12 doesn't just mean fatigue, it mimics dementia. It clouds your memory, blunts your focus, and leaves you feeling like you're just getting old. In reality, your brain is starving for a nutrient it can no longer grab from food. Men mistake this for normal aging. But it's not, it's correctable. Magnesium, that spark plug mineral that regulates muscle contraction, blood pressure, and glucose. With age, you lose more of it in the urine and your gut absorbs less of it. Deficiency shows up as restless legs at night, cramps, irregular heartbeat, even shallow sleep. And when your sleep breaks down, so does testosterone. Night after night of poor rest compounds into lower hormone levels, weaker circulation, and a fading sense of vitality. Let's move down to the small intestine, the shag carpet of your digestive system. Those villi, the finger-like projections that grab nutrients, flatten with age. Your absorption surface shrinks. The transport proteins embedded in those cells get sluggish. Imagine a factory running with half the workers gone. That's your intestine at 70. Less gets in even if you're eating the same meals. Layer on another problem: medications. The seniors are the most medicated group in society. Blood pressure pills, statins, diabetes meds, pain relievers, they are life-saving, yes, but each one carries a side effect. Metformin depletes B12. Diuretics flush magnesium. Statins lower coenzyme Q10, another compound critical for energy and sexual function. The more prescriptions you add, the thinner your nutritional safety net becomes. And then there's the liver, the command center for nutrient metabolism. It activates vitamin D, regulates iron, stores vitamin A. But past 60, your liver slows, scarred by decades of alcohol, sugar, toxins, or just time itself. Vitamin D may enter the body but never get activated. Iron may build up instead of being shuttled away. And when the liver is sluggish, testosterone metabolism falters. Men complain of fatigue, low drive, and poor performance not because they lack willpower, but because their biochemistry is clogged. The pancreas joins the decline. Pancreatic enzymes that break down fats, proteins, and carbs diminish with age. Without them, you don't absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. You see greasy stools, bloating, discomfort, and again, nutrient loss. But the deeper cost, without vitamin D and magnesium, testosterone synthesis stalls. Without fats properly digested, your hormones lack their raw material. So what's the bottom line? By 60, every step of nutrient absorption, stomach, intestine, liver, pancreas, is weaker. Add multiple medications, and you're in a storm of deficiencies. And those deficiencies don't just show up as a lab number. They show up as the real complaints my patients bring me every week. Doctor, I can't sleep through the night anymore. Doctor, I feel foggy like I'm not myself. Doctor, I don't wake up with morning erections like I used to. Doctor, I feel tired even though I eat well. All of these can trace back to nutrients your body can't absorb or use properly. And now here's where supplements can help, but only if they are chosen with precision. B12 in crystalline form bypasses the need for stomach acid. It absorbs directly, restoring clarity and energy. Magnesium in citrate or glycinate form slips through the gut wall more efficiently than cheap oxide. Vitamin D3 taken consistently compensates for reduced sunlight synthesis and sluggish liver activation. And omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil or algae restore the fluidity of cell membranes and the firepower of testosterone-producing cells. But not all supplements are created equal. Calcium carbonate, for example, demands stomach acid to absorb, bad news for older men on antacids. Calcium citrate is better. Sublingual B12 or injections may be needed when intrinsic factor is gone. Magnesium oxide, skip it. It passes right through you. Precision, not volume, is the difference between success and wasted money. So, gentlemen, the challenge after 60 isn't just what you eat, it's what you actually absorb. And what you absorb determines how you sleep, how your hormones regulate, and how strong you feel in every arena of life. I want you to reflect on this. Two men, both 70, eat the same steak dinner. One absorbs 80% of the B12, the other 20%. One wakes refreshed, the other drags through his day. Same food, different outcome. That's the hidden story of aging, and that's why one-size-fits-all multivitamins are useless. They assume every man absorbs the same way. They don't. Precision is the future of men's health after 60. Now, if this part of the conversation hit home for you, if you've ever wondered why you're tired despite eating well, or why your sleep and testosterone feel half of what they used to be, hit that like button right now. Not just for me, but as your commitment to stop guessing and start learning what your body really needs. And let me say this, may every man who taps like tonight feel his next night of sleep sink deeper, his testosterone rise steadier, and his mornings greet him with more energy than the day before. Drop a comment below. Tell me, do you struggle more with energy, sleep, or drive? I read them all, and in the next episode, I'll take some of your comments and answer them directly. That's how we build not just content, but a community of men who refuse to age quietly. Gentlemen, we need to have an uncomfortable conversation, not about what to add, but about what to stop. Because too many of you are swallowing pills that not only fail to help, but quietly sabotage your testosterone, your sleep, and your vitality as a man. Let's start with vitamin E. For decades, supplement companies paraded it as the golden shield, antioxidant, heart protector, cancer fighter. But the truth is harsher. In real randomized trials, high-dose vitamin E didn't prevent cancer, didn't protect the heart. Instead, it increased the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding in the brain. Why? Because vitamin E thins the blood. At 60, your vessels are already fragile, your circulation more delicate. Add excess vitamin E and the risk of bleeding climbs. And here's the male reality: anything that destabilizes circulation undermines sexual function. Erections depend on blood flow. A stroke doesn't just threaten your brain, it crushes your manhood. Now, vitamin A on paper, it looks good: eyesight, immunity, skin, but supplements don't behave like carrots. Carrots come with natural checks and balances, pills don't. Too much vitamin A seeps into bones and liver, raising fracture risk and liver damage. And here's where I get blunt. A man with weak bones and a damaged liver is not a man with strong performance. Studies show men overloaded with vitamin A face higher fracture rates, meaning one slip could steal their independence forever. You can't stride into your 70s with pride if your skeleton betrays you. Iron is next, and this one is personal. Most men think iron equals strength. The truth flips after 60. Once you're past middle age, especially as a man or a post-menopausal woman, your body no longer loses iron regularly. It builds up. And iron in excess doesn't make you Superman, it fuels oxidative stress. That means DNA damage, protein breakdown, and accelerated aging. But here's the detail that hits home: oxidative stress destroys testosterone-producing cells. It clogs blood vessels. It robs you of sleep by inflaming the brain. Add iron when you don't need it and you don't get strength. You get weakness dressed as strength. And then we have the multivitamin, the king of false promises. One pill, 30 nutrients sounds efficient. But your body doesn't need or even want that shotgun blast. Multivitamins give you doses that are too high in some, too low in others, with no precision. They create chaos where your body craves balance. For men, the danger is subtle. Take a multivitamin at night and the stimulating compounds, like synthetic B vitamins, can interfere with sleep cycles. Take them daily and the excess iron or vitamin piles up in your tissues. Multivitamins sell control in a bottle, but in truth, they steal control from your biology. The common thread here: all four, vitamin E, vitamin A, iron, and multivitamins, were sold on partial truths. But after 60, the equation flips. The margin for error shrinks. What was once harmless becomes harmful, and the damage is not abstract, it's personal. A stroke, a fracture, a sluggish libido, nights of broken sleep. These are not numbers in a study. These are the things that strip a man of his independence, his dignity, his pride. So let me give it to you straight. If you're over 60 and you don't have a medically confirmed deficiency, avoid these four. High-dose vitamin E. Vitamin A supplements. Iron, multivitamins. You are not missing out on safety, you are avoiding silent harm. Now, I know some of you listening right now are saying, "But doc, I've been taking a multivitamin for 20 years and I feel fine." To that I say, good, but feeling fine doesn't mean you're thriving. It means your body is carrying a burden you don't see yet. Men feel fine until their bones snap, their sleep collapses, or their testosterone drops so low they no longer recognize themselves. So here's what I want from you: stop gambling with your health span. Don't let marketing decide what you swallow. Let science decide. Let your body dictate what it truly needs. If this warning resonates with you, if you've ever looked at your supplement drawer and wondered, "Do I really need all this?" drop me a comment below. Tell me what you've been taking. Tell me what you're questioning. I'll choose a few and address them directly in a future session. And let's add a challenge right now. If you've ever wasted money on a multivitamin, hit that like button as your promise to never waste another dollar on empty pills. Every like tells me you're serious about protecting your testosterone, your sleep, and your manhood. And may every man who likes this video tonight feel his circulation run freer, his sleep run deeper, and his mornings arrive with more drive than the night before. Gentlemen, precision beats excess. Always. And in the next part, I'll show you not just what to avoid, but what you must embrace if you want to walk through your 60s with strength, vitality, and the pride of still being every bit the man you remember. Gentlemen, we've talked about what not to take. Now let's shift gears, because after 60, it's not about loading your body with every pill in the pharmacy. It's about precision, choosing the few nutrients that your body can no longer make or absorb the way it used to. And for men like us, these choices are not luxuries. They are lifelines for testosterone, sleep, circulation, and vitality. The first is vitamin D3. Think of it as sunlight in a capsule. When you were 20, a short walk outdoors could fuel your skin to produce all the vitamin D you needed. But by 60, that process is a shadow of its former self. Add in less outdoor activity, more sunscreen, and the result is inevitable: deficiency. Why does that matter? Because vitamin D isn't just about bones. It's about testosterone production, immune defense, muscle strength, and sleep. Men with low vitamin D levels report weaker erections, more broken sleep, and higher rates of depression. A fractured hip at 70 isn't just painful, it can end independence. But here's the hopeful part: supplementing with D3 restores what nature no longer provides. You don't need megadoses, you need consistency, measured blood levels, and the commitment to stay within the sweet spot. Next comes vitamin B12. This one is silent and it's dangerous. Deficiency creeps in like a thief: fatigue, brain fog, numbness, and memory lapses that too often get dismissed as just old age. But here's what I see in my clinic: men placed on memory drugs or written off as senile when all they needed was B12. After 60, stomach acid drops and medications like metformin and acid blockers steal the rest. Without B12, your brain misfires, your nerves go numb, and your testosterone metabolism falters. Supplementation, whether high-dose oral, sublingual, or injections, restores clarity, steadies mood, and reignites the energy that makes a man feel like himself again. Then we turn to magnesium, the unsung hero. This mineral is a cofactor in over 300 reactions in your body. It regulates glucose, blood pressure, and nerve transmission. But for our purposes as older men, magnesium does three things that change lives. It calms the nervous system for deeper sleep, it fuels testosterone production, and it keeps the heart rhythm steady. Deficiency shows up as nighttime cramps, shallow rest, irritability, and sluggish drive. And here's the irony: most men over 60 are deficient because our soils are depleted, our diets stripped, and our kidneys leak it away faster with age. Cheap magnesium oxide won't cut it. Choose citrate, glycinate, or malate, forms your body can actually use. With the right magnesium, your nights grow calmer, your mornings stronger, and your testosterone steadier. Finally, omega-3 fatty acids. Not technically a vitamin, but absolutely essential. Your body cannot make them, you must supply them. EPA and DHA from fish oil are the forms that matter. What do? They fight inflammation, the common enemy of aging. Inflammation clogs arteries, stiffens joints, disrupts sleep, and lowers testosterone. Omega-3s restore fluidity to your cell membranes, protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and soften the fire of arthritis. Men who supplement regularly have lower risks of heart disease, better sexual function thanks to improved circulation, and even stronger emotional resilience. Unless you eat fatty fish several times a week, supplementation isn't optional, it's necessary. Notice the difference between these four and the ones I told you to avoid. Vitamin D3, B12, magnesium, and omega-3s address real, common deficiencies that silently rob older men of vitality. They're not hype, they are need. You're not taking them because an ad promised glowing skin. You're taking them because your body cannot sustain testosterone, sleep, circulation, or cognition without them. And let me stress again, the goal isn't megadoses. Vitamin D has a sweet spot. Too little, your bones and hormones suffer. Too much, and calcium builds in the wrong places. B12 is safe even in high doses, but the aim is balance. Magnesium requires tailoring to your digestion. Too much at once can cause diarrhea. Omega-3s must come from reputable companies to avoid mercury contamination. Precision is the key, so here's my advice. If you want to age as a strong man, not a shadow of yourself, make these 4 your daily foundation. Think of them as the 4 pillars that hold up the roof of your health span. Without them, the house crumbles. With them, you stand taller. Now, let's make this real. Drop a comment below and tell me, out of these 4, which one do you think you're most deficient in? Is it vitamin D3, the sunlight capsule, B12, the brain saver, magnesium, the sleep and testosterone booster, or omega-3s, the inflammation fighter? I want to know where you're struggling because in the next Q&A, I'll take some of your comments and respond directly. And one more thing, if you found even a spark of hope in this message, share this video. Not for me, but for your brother, your friend, your fishing buddy who's quietly struggling with fatigue, sleepless nights, or fading drive. When you hit share, you're not spreading hype. You're spreading tools that actually work. And may every man who shares this video tonight feel his next sleep sink deeper, his testosterone rise steadier, and his mornings greet him with the strength of a man still very much alive. Gentlemen, I promised you that this podcast wouldn't just be me talking at you. It's a conversation. And today I want to answer some of the comments and questions that came in after the last episode. They range from practical to personal and some even a little sarcastic, but that's what makes this community real. Question 1, Doctor, I'm 68. Is it even possible to raise testosterone naturally at my age, or am I past the point of no return? That's a powerful question. Here's the truth. Your testosterone will never be what it was at 25, but that doesn't mean it can't improve. Vitamin D3 and magnesium alone can raise free testosterone levels by optimizing how your body makes and uses the hormone. Sleep is the real engine. Deep, uninterrupted rest is where testosterone pulses strongest. Add in resistance training, omega-3s to improve circulation, and smart stress management. And yes, you can move the needle. Not back to 25, but enough to restore drive, confidence, and morning vitality. Question 2. I've been taking a multivitamin every night for years. Could that be messing up my sleep? The short answer, yes. Many multivitamins contain synthetic B vitamins that can stimulate your nervous system. Taken at night, they can leave you restless, tossing and turning instead of sinking into deep sleep. For older men, fragmented sleep means lower testosterone the next day and a weaker sense of stamina. If you insist on taking one, move it to the morning. But my honest advice, ditch the shotgun pill altogether and choose only what your body needs. Question 3, Dr. Prescott, I read online that men over 60 should take extra iron to stay strong. Is that true? Absolutely not, unless your doctor has confirmed you're iron deficient. For older men, excess iron is like gasoline on the fire of aging. It fuels oxidative stress, damages the heart, disrupts sleep, and actually impairs testosterone production. Strength doesn't come from iron pills, it comes from muscle activity, circulation, and the right nutrients. If anything, your focus should be on keeping iron levels in check, not piling more on. Question 4. I'm 72 and my buddies keep telling me to eat oysters instead of supplements. Is there any truth to that? I love this one. Oysters are rich in zinc, which is indeed vital for testosterone. But here's the nuance. Oysters alone won't save your testosterone if you're deficient in vitamin D, magnesium, or omega-3s. Zinc is a part of the equation, not the whole. Oysters are a great food, just don't fall for the idea that a plate of them can replace a balanced strategy. Supplements and foods work together. Question 5, sarcastic. Doctor, be honest, you're just trying to sell fish oil, right? Laughs, I get it. The supplement industry is full of snake oil salesmen and skepticism is healthy. But no, I don't sell pills. My only agenda is science and your well-being. Omega-3s are among the most researched nutrients in existence, with proven benefits for heart health, brain clarity, and yes, better circulation where it matters most. If fish oil helps you sleep deeper, keep your arteries flexible, and sustain erections, that's not hype, that's physiology. And if you don't trust pills, then eat salmon or sardines twice a week. The goal isn't sales, it's your strength. Gentlemen, I want more questions like these. They make this podcast a living, breathing dialogue. So here's what I ask. Drop a comment below. Ask me something specific, even if it's uncomfortable. That's how we break through the silence around men's health. And let me leave you with this. May every man who adds his voice in the comments feel his nights deepen with rest, his mornings return with energy, and his sense of manhood stand stronger in the weeks ahead. Gentlemen, let's get honest about the question every man over 60 eventually asks. How long will I live? But I'll tell you straight, the more important question isn't how long, it's how well. There's a difference between lifespan and health span. Lifespan is the number of years you exist. Health span is the number of those years you actually live on your feet, clear-headed, sleeping deeply, strong in body, and confident in manhood. Modern medicine has gotten very good at extending lifespan. Pills, surgeries, stents, chemo, these can keep you alive longer, but they don't guarantee quality. A stent might save your life but won't restore your ability to climb stairs. A pill might regulate your blood sugar but won't restore your testosterone or your intimacy. Living to 90 doesn't mean much if your last 25 years are spent in a chair, tired, foggy, and disconnected. What men truly want is what I call compressed morbidity. A long stretch of vitality followed by a short period of decline at the very end. We don't fear death as much as we fear decline. We don't fear birthdays. We fear losing the ability to stand tall, to perform, to sleep through the night, to love our wives, to play with our grandchildren. That's the difference between simply existing and truly living. And here's where vitamins and nutrients fit in. The 4 supplements I warned you against, vitamin E, vitamin A, iron, and multivitamins, do nothing for health span. They steal from it. They increase fracture risk, stroke risk, liver damage, oxidative stress. They shorten the number of years you can live with strength and dignity. But the 4 essentials, vitamin D3, B12, magnesium, and omega-3s are different. They don't promise eternal youth. What they do is safeguard the very systems that define quality of life for older men. Vitamin D reduces fractures and restores muscle function, keeping you mobile and independent. B12 prevents nerve damage and cognitive decline, keeping your memory sharp enough to remember names, manage finances, and enjoy conversations. Magnesium calms the nervous system, deepens sleep, stabilizes blood sugar, and fuels testosterone, keeping your nights restful and your mornings strong. Omega-3s quiet inflammation, protect circulation, and support erections, keeping you sexually alive, emotionally resilient, and physically capable. These are not about survival. They're about function. They're about protecting your identity as a man. They help you keep not just years, but manhood in those years. Now, why is this message often ignored? Because our healthcare system is designed to chase lifespan. Doctors are rewarded for preventing death, not preserving vitality. Pharmaceutical companies profit from keeping men alive with chronic disease, not from keeping them well. Supplement companies promise longevity in a bottle, but rarely prove whether their products actually improve health span. But here's the irony. By focusing on health span, you often extend lifespan too. Men with healthy vitamin D levels fall less and fracture less, and they live longer. Men with normal B12 avoid dementia, stay independent, and live longer. Men with magnesium avoid sudden cardiac death. Men with omega-3s have fewer heart attacks and strokes. By fighting for quality, you often win quantity as a side effect. Let me make this tangible. Imagine 2 80-year-old men. The first eats poorly, never supplements, and his body absorbs less with every passing year. He's vitamin D deficient, magnesium deficient, B12 deficient, inflamed. He's alive, but he shuffles when he walks. He's on 5 medications. He wakes up tired, he doesn't sleep well, and intimacy is a memory. That's lifespan without Healthspan. The second has optimized his nutrition. He takes targeted supplements. His bones are strong. His muscles steady, his testosterone still present, his mind clear. He drives, he laughs, he sleeps through the night, he enjoys intimacy, and he still feels like a man. He's not chasing immortality. He's living today with vitality. That's Healthspan. Which 80-year-old do you want to be? Gentlemen, stop thinking of supplements as magic bullets for eternal life. Think of them as tools for preserving strength, sleep, intimacy, and clarity. Think of them as investments in Healthspan. And remember this, more is not better, better is better. Too much of the wrong thing shortens your health span. The right dose of the right nutrient extends it. Supplements aren't the whole story. You still need food, movement, sleep, and purpose, but they are part of the toolkit. And for men over 60, the 4 essentials are non-negotiable. So here's my final challenge to you. Don't just watch this podcast, interact with it. Hit like if you're committed to protecting your health span. Share it with a brother or a friend who's struggling silently. Leave a comment with your biggest question or your toughest doubt, and I'll address it directly in future episodes. Subscribe not just for me but for yourself, for the accountability of staying engaged in the fight for your vitality. And may every man who takes that action, like, share, comment, subscribe, feel 3 blessings in the days ahead. May your sleep deepen and restore you as it once did. May your testosterone rise to fuel strength, drive, and intimacy. And may your health span stretch long enough to give you not just years, but years lived as a man proud of who he is. Gentlemen, this is Dr. Jonathan Prescott. Don't fight for more years. Fight for better years. Because living long means nothing if you're not living well.